It's no mystery that the hot narrative right now is AI and the deepin that supports it. We've seen huge growth from Agix, Fetch, Delesium, Render, Filecoin, and many others recently, and it's becoming harder and harder to find the next coins within this narrative that could see explosive growth. And that's because of this Nvidia conference that's happening in just the next few days. But don't worry, I've gone away and I've sourced the last remaining opportunity in this narrative that we need to pay attention to. So do me a favor, hit that like button and let's get into it. Now guys, as I've been talking about in various videos for months on this channel, we are moving into a new era, and that is the era of artificial intelligence. Now, obviously you know that because it's everywhere. We've just seen Nvidia climbing above the world's biggest oil company, which is Saudi Aramco, in terms of market cap, which is incredibly significant. And later on this week, we've got the GTC, which is an enormous conference for Nvidia, showcasing artificial intelligence and its development into the future. This has been huge because it's captured the attention across AI, but particularly within the crypto sector. And the most significant thing right now to focus on is this. Bitcoin currently set at $69,663, which is above previous all-time highs, and it is right now Sunday. We are gonna see a weekly close, it looks like, above all-time highs, and that is incredibly bullish for the future. As you look into this chart, the next price we would likely target somewhere up around $90,000 could be happening extremely fast for Bitcoin, and what that means for the wider crypto market is crazy. Now guys, right now you are probably already subscribed to this channel and you've probably seen this before, but I'm going to show it to you again because it's really important if we tie it in with where we are in the narrative. And I'm also going to tell you about the narrative that is coming after AI, because it's going to start pumping next week. Now, what I talked about before is in every bull market, we have a bull market, a bear market, an accumulation, and a disbelief phase before entering back into another bull market. And this cycle happens every 4 years because of not the halving, okay? Not the halving. Get that out of your head. It's complete BS fabrication. It's because of the liquidity cycle. And yeah, Raoul Pal did teach me that. I did learn it from another person, so sue me. Now guys, what is this, apart from nice pretty colors? Crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is the altcoin market. That's very big, okay? Because right now, and we were talking about this a while ago because we were in the disbelief phase or just entering up into this phase, every coin out there, with the exception of maybe meme coins, which do something a bit more kind of crazy, does this. It runs through an accumulation. It breaks this kind of downtrend. It goes into a disbelief phase where everyone's like, oh, it's going to have a bullback, and then it goes into the bull market. And pretty much everything's been doing it. I showed you AIOZ last month when it was down in here in like the 13 cents range. Currently it's worth 77 cents. Delesium, an AI agent, has also gone absolutely crazy. And I know a lot of you guys now are rushing away to try and buy these coins. Stop, okay? Stop that. Buy the coins down here, not the coins up here. Now, there will be another chance to buy into these coins, but this narrative and the movement between narratives is incredibly short, incredibly fleeting. Right now, this week, AI and deepin are still the hot narratives, and different coins within that narrative will pump at different times. And these were some of the earlier ones, and I'm going to show you in just a moment, if you can remain patient, the later stage ones, of which there are a few remaining of proper quality that we want to talk about. So remember, we want to look for coins that are in this range. And the good news is, outside of AI, there are a lot of other narratives that are yet to kind of explode into these bull markets. So yes, while AI is leading the charge right now, which was as to be expected, the next narrative pump I will be talking about on a video tomorrow. Now you're probably wondering, what was it that kind of got Render and other coins moving before perhaps some others? Now there's a few different factors, but it's pretty obvious. If you look at YouTube throughout last year, I personally was making a number of different Render videos talking about the opportunity when we were down in this area through here, and then other people would start to make videos about Render and things like that, and Render was kicking off across Twitter. It got a lot of publicity. So what do we have to do to find value? Well, we have to find decent quality projects within the right narrative that are yet to see the exposure, but are maybe just starting to climb up the lower echelons of exposure when it comes to social media. And the first project that fits that bill is none other than Forta, ticker FORT. Now there's a few reasons I'm keen on Forta right now, and you're like, well, it's got a smaller market cap. Okay, that's one thing. That's one thing I like, because smaller market cap gives us better opportunity. But remain calm, okay? Let's do the whole thing and understand why this might be a good hold, so I can help you to understand what doing your own research is all about, okay? Now, we come down through, circulating supply sits around 38-40%. Not ideal, okay, guys, but you can see how quickly the bull market moves. It doesn't really care too much about these circulating supplies because the unlocks are happening over a period of time that's longer than the bull market. Now, first things first, getting over to the Twitter page, we can see it's 26.3 thousand followers. Pretty small. Now, projects do sometimes struggle a bit if they don't really invest heavily in marketing, but it doesn't always matter because people will go out there and try and find value in projects. For example, me, who wants to try and find value to bring to you, because the more value you can get and the bigger you can grow by following me, ultimately the bigger and more successful my channel will be, and the happier we're all going to be. And that's perhaps why it's not grown so significantly, although perhaps after exposing it in this video, it might start to see a bit of growth. So if you want to be early on projects, then make sure you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell so that you can watch these videos before the 50,000 other people do. So let's find out a little bit about Forta and why it might be valuable into the future. The largest network of security intel in Web3. Okay, so basically there's a huge problem right now, you're probably aware, as we move into the future of crypto, people are getting more and more technical all the time, and people are trying to exploit smart contracts and all different bits and pieces. If we were really hoping to kind of replace the banking system with cryptocurrency, then a huge amount more security that needs to come in if people are ever going to be able to trust it fully. Now, considering in traditional finance that security is one of the biggest expenditures, it makes sense that security is going to be a very big, important part going forward. But remember, this is still AI. Basically, how it works is it encourages individual users out there to host a number of different AI bots that are out there searching for scams and exploited contracts, etc. Basically like a team of AI meerkats out there looking for the threat of different scams and stuff like that. Thought I'd give you an animal analogy because it's Sunday. Thought I'd make it a little bit more lighthearted. Also, meerkats are pretty cool. Now, Forta basically operates across a number of different Web3 environments. It allows you as an individual to scan wallets and scan different contracts before interacting in things. Also, kind of on a bigger scale, it allows different companies and things to find data about scams and all sorts of other bits and pieces. Now you can see exploits that have already been detected by Forta, and you can see this one, $197 million, Yearn Finance, $11 million, SushiSwap, 3.3, and you can click here to see more and more if you so wish. But obviously, guys, when you're doing your own research, which hopefully you're going to do after this video, rather than blindly buying anything that I've talked about, because it's not financial advice, and I could just be an idiot, although I'm not, but I could be. Okay, and if you're not an idiot, then you should be doing your own research. Now, guys, comment down below as well. Let's continue to see a little bit more about what's going on, okay? So basically how the Fort token works and why the Fort token might be of use to us as investors. Now, obviously, guys, I know 99% of you are buying tokens to try and make money, but it makes sense if the platform's actually going to use its tokens, because then there's actually a good chance of token increasing in value, perhaps, because of supply and demand models. Now, basically, stake and delegate Fort to secure the network and participate in governance and shape the future. Now, also, in order to get access to using the AI bots and oracles, etc., you would need to basically participate and hold Fort tokens, and that's an important thing. So a lot of these companies which have used Fort in the past are also holding Fort tokens in order to secure the network and also to be able to use the services of this platform. Now, another very big thing, which I think a lot of people kind of just overlook in crypto, and it's this: world-class partners. Now, I know a lot of you are like, well, why is this so important? Now, before you and I are able to participate in sales and things like that, typically you'll have big venture capital funds, and there is a few names out there that are bigger than any other, and they carry so much weight, and they basically act as kind of like a guarantee almost for other institutions and other big money and other people coming in to the market. When you see names like Coinbase Ventures, A16Z, which I think is the biggest, and like a handful of others, Blockchain Capital also pretty big, and that's one hell of a stamp of approval, okay? So what do we got? We've got a project in a good niche with interest from some big influencers and some small to medium influencers. We got backing from some of the biggest names in crypto. You can already see some of the clients to some of the bigger names in crypto as well. We've got a market cap of 80 million, and most importantly, you got a chart that looks like this. Now bear with me, because it does look a little messy. Let's just go through this. Now, zooming out to the weekly, I want to show you something. Now, lots of people will be like, oh, well, look at what happened on the launch. That was a scam. Now, I don't really understand always why launch prices and things happen like this, but you can see on the 22nd of June, which was smack in the middle of the bear market, terrible time to launch. You can see it had a horrific start to its life. ICP, a bunch of other coins had similar looking horrendous charts. Now, typically that's because a lot of the venture capital funds who bought in early have probably gone and dumped their tokens aggressively, and various other bits and pieces. So don't worry too much about this previous data. What we're focusing on, guys, is this data since that end of bear market. Now, what we can do is we can just drag across here, and you can see that we have a nice sort of general trend line. How have I drawn it? Well, we can see the wicks here. We've got the main bodies through here, and we do that from sort of the bottom of the bear market as we move into the accumulation phase. Now, remember, if we look at this from the accumulation phase point of view, what we can see right now is at the bottom, your AGI, similar kind of thing, right? AGI did launch much more recently, but again, had a big pump, a good sell-off from all the early investors, very typical, and then we go through this accumulation phase. Nothing really happens. We come up, we have an attempt to break through here, we get rejected, we come back, and then we break up above it. You can see once AGI breaks up above this pattern, it goes on a run, does around a 10x in the space of a month. You can see that Forta looks very much perfect for the next move. And look, on the bottom, you've got ICP. Yes, not an AI coin, but they all basically run through the same pattern. The accumulation phase, the disbelief phase, then the sort of run up here. You can see that we are through the accumulation phase, disbelief phase, and then you would anticipate a run up here. So guys, very, very simple. Get a narrative that's hot with a good catalyst for causing the growth, like the NVIDIA event, to be honest, might have a bit of a positive impact like on the actual tech and all that bits and pieces, but really it's just something to bring it into the forefront of everyone's attention. You then find it in a good position on chart, and then it's good to go, isn't it? Straightforward. So what's the next narrative after AI? I'm going to tell you in a video I'm going to make tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe and we'll talk about it then. Because the beauty of being early in the narrative, like we were when we were talking about this last week with a bunch of deep in projects that have now been exploding since we've been talking about them, is that we can be early on the next one. Right now, we're sort of going through the kind of the last remaining big dogs that are about to pump. But a lot of people always ask me on my videos, like down below, like saying, where do I buy this? Where do I buy this? Guys, on CoinMarketCap, once you found the coin, which is FORT in this case, and I'm not saying you go and buy it, I'm saying that you must do your own research. You go down below and you see where it says Forta Markets. Now, it's available on a bunch of different exchanges. Coinbase, extremely expensive. Bybit requires KYC, VPN's quite tricky to use, but there is a couple here, Bingx and Bitget, which you can find links for down below in the description, who I do have a partnership with. Bingx is non-KYC, which I've got a link for NordVPN down below. Also, Bitget, another top exchange with a bunch of different tokens. And if you use those links down below, guys, you can also qualify for bonuses if you read their T's and C's for that. Two big exchanges I recommend, exchanges I personally use, but there's obviously others available, whatever suits. Now, next project on the radar is this, Numbers, down 9% today. Happy days. Some of the bigger projects have taken a bit of a cool off today. Market cap currently sat at $108 million, just a little bit bigger than Forta, but still not bad at all. Circulating supply looks reasonable. Now, before we jump across and look at the website, and there's a big reason I'm actually really keen on this particular one. And by the way, guys, I'm not sponsored in any way by Forta or Numbers. Right now, I don't even hold any of the tokens on either of these projects either, but I just wanted to bring you these. Now, coming across to the Twitter account, let's find out whether or not Numbers is an interesting project or not. Obviously it is, because otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. But let's just assume I've not looked at it yet, okay? 125,000 followers. Clicking on the followed, who follows them? Binance Labs, okay. Hello, this is an interesting one. Come down below, you can see a few other big names in there. You can then come down below. Numbers protocol has been selected for Google's new digital transformation program. That's a pretty handy partnership. And there's a few other bits and pieces to go through if you so wish. Now, jumping across to Numbers. Why do I think this is important? Well, right now, you're probably seeing a lot of ads, maybe before my videos, maybe before other crypto YouTube videos, of Michael Saylor talking in Michael Saylor's voice, but his mouth moving differently, telling you to go and invest loads of Bitcoin or something into some, shady thing. Or the CEO of XRP telling you to go and buy XRP tokens, although obviously you're not going to do that because you want to make money in crypto. Sorry, so many cheap shots on the XRP army. I'll stop one day, I promise. And the problem with this is all these fake AI. You've also probably seen this with Joe Rogan. It's an extremely big and worrying problem because these AIs are going to go and get better and better. How can you trust anything that comes out of anyone's mouth going forward if there's a danger that it might be an AI? And Numbers, interestingly, uses AI to ensure that the images, the videos, and all the other data is safeguarded and is what it says it is. You can imagine down the line, people like YouTube, etc., will likely be using programs like this, you would hope, to verify whether videos are authentic or not. It talks about images. 2.5 million images on a day-to-day basis are stolen without any copyright or any control, and there's a reason to change this. Not only this, but it also runs for NFTs, and I've kind of been thinking about the potential that NFTs and stuff have in the future. If you want NFTs to be suitable for things like housing contracts or owning cars and different items such as watches, then you need to be able to verify whether or not that document is secure. Otherwise, why would anyone ever want to part with lots of money to buy a house if there's even the slightest hint of chance that that NFT certificate that belongs to the house, let's say this is down the line, could be in any way fake. You need platforms like this going forward if things are going to move on chain. And I think it's a very big and important part going forward. Coming down below, other big ticks, investors, Binance Labs, thank you very much. It's a very key one to have. Also, notably, YouTube and Twitch. We just talked about that, okay? I didn't even see these earlier on. But the fact that this is being invested in by companies like this tells you that this is likely to see huge adoption across big platforms. Also partnering Google, you can see Filecoin, Hedera HBAR, Avalanche, and you can see all sorts of other different bits and pieces, articles. So to me, that sounds pretty good. But it's a project like Forta that I haven't really seen being talked about by anyone. Yet it's in the right narrative at the right time. It's partnering with some great companies. It's backed by some of the biggest names in crypto, and the chart is great. So let's get across to the chart. And you're like, wow, you've zoomed out and it looks like it's already been pumping. Now guys, you can see, has been seeing like a bit of growth in the last week or so. Now it would have been nice to capture this just last week, because in just a few days it had a good bit of growth, okay? It did see a surge all the way up 285%. But this particular chart pattern, and I'm literally, this is right now, lots of people as well, be careful when you're watching my videos or any other video out there about the date down below. If you're watching this and it's like December 2026, right now it's the 10th of March, okay? And, you know, we could see some good growth over the coming few weeks. Who knows when? Pay attention to what I talk about. The pricing right now is at 19 cents. And this chart pattern you see is a very perfect continuation pattern on a bull market, okay? You'll see this time and time again in a bull market. What we can see across here is a ascending triangle. What you see is basically, and it typically comes from a buy zone area down here, you see kind of like highs coming in, they hit a brick wall, okay? Around 19 cents for this, it will then fall back down. It puts in a low, but notably, this is the previous low, higher low, higher low. Eventually, it squeezes it like a tube of toothpaste, and eventually it pops out the top. This is called an ascending triangle, because it's a triangle when it's ascending. And then typically you'll see maybe it sort of stalls, it breaks through, starts to retest, and eventually you'll see it kind of pop from this area. And when it does, the price target of that particular pattern, you take the height of it, you bang it up to around the breakout position, and then you can measure where it would run, something like a 55% move, and that can happen extremely quickly. So numbers appears to me to have come out of accumulation into the disbelief zone and is ready to enter its bull market. Both numbers and Forta appear to be doing this right now. Coming down below to see where it's available again. And if you go through those links, make sure you use that referral code if you want to get those bonuses, if you're signing up through mobile or whatever. Now, in terms of price predictions for these coins, it's a tricky one because I think they're both going to go well beyond previous data. Numbers protocol, if it gets picked up and used by companies like YouTube, etc., who knows, it could potentially be running into the multiple billions of dollars, $1 billion, 10x from here. $2 billion would be like a 20x from here, but you know, who knows, maybe it goes even bigger. This is, in my opinion, the key narrative of the entire bull market to pay attention to right now. Forta, again, fixing key issues within crypto, the right narrative, the right time, $80 million market cap, again, 10x's, 800 million, $1 billion possible, around 12x, maybe a 20x is possible. But remember, different coins run at different times. This right now is the kind of the end period, the AI and deep in phase. I think this is probably your last remaining opportunities to be able to buy in the disbelief area, but obviously do your own research before looking into any of these coins. Now, I'm pleased to say that today's video is in partnership with My Lovely Planet, who have created a mobile phone game. The developers working on My Lovely Planet previously were behind Candy Crush and Battle Royale, both billion-dollar revenue games. My Lovely Planet is backed by Ubisoft and Unity, some of the biggest names in traditional gaming, and this platform already has over 30,000 users across the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Now you can see it's currently running in a pre-sale, and if you're interested, you have to act fast because there's only a few hours left until the price will increase, and also the launch event is going to be happening extremely soon. You can see you pick it up around $0.09 right now, and the launch price will be at $0.1 when it lists in April 2024. Also, if you use the code HOUSEOFCRYPTO, you'll get an additional 10% of tokens. So that'll mean that you're entering the market with 20% more tokens because the price is already discounted 10% plus the 10% extra, which seems like a good deal to me. Now, coming down below, I actually really like this project for a number of reasons other than the fact that it's backed by some of the biggest developers. They have a working project that's already being played by lots of people, including people in my community, in this game here, but also because the game is working to protect the environment, to help preserve biodiversity, planting trees. So when you're planting trees in the game, they'll go and plant trees in real life, and they're hoping to plant over 1 billion trees in the future. As we come down below, you can see they've already got over 500,000 followers on TikTok, so they already have a huge opportunity to spread their word across social media. And a fully transparent team you can come and find more information about down below. I've previously been on calls with the CEO and various others, and you can come down below and find out more about all the individuals in the team. absolutely worth finding out more about. Link down below in the description if you wish to come and find out about buying into this project. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. Remember, tomorrow I'm going to introduce the next narrative. And guys, I think we don't have much time on this one. It's going to be huge. I'm going to give you a few projects that you want to be considering. Hit subscribe. See you then. Bye-bye.